Hello again, you extraordinary subscribers. Welcome back, everybody, to your no doubt favorite internet content creator, Hemingway Land, the YouTube channel. So here's the deal, guys. This video is going to be posted on Friday, April the 7th. I, however, am recording this a week and a half in advance. And if you're wondering, Hemingway, why are you doing this? Here's why, guys. I will be traveling next week, this week, whatever. By the time you're watching this, I will already have returned. But I will be traveling for the business. Traveling here, traveling there, doing no doubt important things for a business which rarely even requires me to leave the house. Rarely requires me to get out of my pajamas, guys. But next week, this week, whatever, I will be doing something. We are in what we will call the embryonic stages of something that I'm planning, and it requires some research, some, quote, on-the-ground research. Gotta go somewhere, gotta meet some people, discuss some things, etc. And because I do not know what the sitch will be with the internet in the hotel, or if I'm going to want to sit around a hotel and try to record one of these next week, we figure we do it early. So aside from my fascinating travel plans, I have nothing to talk about because I just finished last week's video roughly 5 seconds ago. Additionally, whatever properties sell in the next 7 days haven't sold yet. So we'll say special thanks till next week. Whatever the case, everybody, with all that said, let's get to this week's new property. Starting off this week, guys, we are back in Park County, Colorado, and more specifically back in the South Park Ranches, the same subdivision we profiled last week with a very similar property. And I know some of you are thinking, Hemingway, why didn't you debut both properties in the same week? Well, excellent question, guys. Here's the thing, as we've learned from previous videos, title companies do not work on my schedule when they work at all. And while I had hoped to debut these in the same week and then a different property this week, didn't quite work out that way. Whatever the case, this one's a good one, guys. You're gonna like it, even though it is not wholly different from the one we debuted last week. In fact, eagle-eyed observers may notice us cheat a little bit and recycle some footage from last week's video because I am, at my core, very, very lazy. With all that said, let's get to it. So this new one is a 5-acre lot located in the South Park Ranches, which, as we have previously discussed, is a subdivision occupying roughly this area here. It is a massive sub, people, consisting almost entirely of 5-acre lots like the subject property. Speaking of the subject property, it is located here, a little under a mile north of Highway 24 along Jackson Road, a well-maintained dirt road which can be navigated by any vehicle type 365 days a year, except probably during the 6 months when it snows. Then you'll want a truck, or a snowplow, or a team of huskies. It's your choice, guys. In addition, for those of you who hate when we offer properties with utilities conveniently located at the lot line, for those of you for whom residential power lines ruined your first marriage, you'll be glad to know that this property, like most of the land in this sprawling subdivision, has no power lines anywhere close. Point being, guys, bring your solar panels. In addition, one of the advantages of this lot is that it has been staked and the 4 corners already marked with these helpful pins you see here, which of course should save you the expense of a costly survey. And between that and the nice flat topography of the land, should be easy to build on and easy to park on. Additionally, guys, South Park Ranches has no HOA, no annual dues, and only very light covenants. Minimum square footage for structures out here is 600 square feet for single-story homes and 800 square feet for 2-story homes, which, depending on your definition of a tiny home, might be good for that. More to the point, however, very few regulations for whatever you do decide to build. So, of course, unconventional structures are, in all likelihood, welcome. And when it comes to camping and RVing out here, you can do that for 2 weeks at a time without a permit, and for much longer with one, though with one usually requires installing some sort of waste treatment system on the land, and most people don't want to mess with that, but point being, it's a good recreational property for 2-week camping or hunting trips. Now, with all that said, let me show you what I believe is the real selling point of this property. Okay, so we got Park County outlined on the map, and the pin you see here is the property. From this point on the map, you are literally within a 5-minute drive of 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 lakes and state parks. Let me take you through them from west to east. First off, we've got the Antero Reservoir over here. Pause for drone footage. Then we've got the Spinney Mountain State Park. Pause again for drone footage. And finally, the 11 Mile State Park, all of which, of course, offer more recreational activities than I can list here, but the obvious ones are boating, fishing, fly fishing, ice fishing, hiking, camping, bird watching, so on and so forth. And now that we've gotten our money's worth out of the drone footage, it's also worth noting that owning land here puts you in very close proximity of the Pike San Isabel National Forest, which, as anyone who's read Wikipedia knows, consists of over 3 million acres of land stretching from the Kansas border in the east all the way to about the middle of the state. And of course, not only will you find plenty of great hunting opportunities here, but this forest is home to Pikes Peak and plenty of great trails and mountains for hikers and climbers of all ages. In addition, guys, from the subject property, you are only about 40 minutes from Breckenridge in nearby Summit County. Of course, this region boasts some of the best skiing in the state, perhaps second only to Telluride, but nonetheless, this region is chock-a-block with a lot of great snow-based recreation, we will call it. Finally, guys, one of the really nice things about owning land in this region is that you are centrally located close to a lot of mid-sized towns. Now, most people selling land out here will tell you Denver's right around the corner. Of course, right around the corner is still about 2 hours away. Colorado Springs over here is a lot closer, but that's still about an hour drive. That said, if you're talking about quick runs for groceries and supplies, you've got going east on the 24, Lake George, Florissant, and Woodland Park. And going west on the 24 to the 285, you'll run into towns such as Buena Vista, Johnson Village, and Salida. And really, the direction you drive in ends up being one of personal taste less than convenience, since the towns have roughly the same collection of stores and restaurants, and despite appearances on the map, are about equidistant from the subject property. Point being, despite its rural setting, civilization and various amenities are none too far away, in addition to about 7 million great attractions. With all that said, going live on the website next week, we are back yet again in central Colorado with another new property not located in South Park Ranches, but rather in another new community nestled in the heart of the Colorado Mountains. Tune in next week to learn more. Till such time, everybody, have a great 7 days. If you celebrate Easter, have a great Easter, and we will see you back here in next week's video.